So here we are, the ultimate assessment guide. And like I said, this is basically taking all the data that we have right now and combining the symptoms plus the labs and coming up with a way to assess. So I'm going to read the kind of the instructions here, and then we're going to go through it so that you can have an idea about what it is. Make it easier on you when you print it out. So this document was created to help you identify which causes of fatigue you have based on your symptoms and lab data. I've placed an asterisk by those symptoms that are the most significant indicators of that particular cause. You will find that the assessment is always based on a combination of all the data available, but certain causes rely more on the symptoms present, while others rely more on the laboratory data. And I'm going to note that below so that it'll make it easier for you. So here's the how-to. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check off all of the symptoms that we have. Then we're going to mark off the laboratory tests that we have done. And it tells you exactly which laboratory tests to do. I've got the website here of where to go to order the lab tests, and that's where you'll find all of them except for this Lyme PCR panel, the DNA connections test, and I've got the link there. You can go order that. And then next, third, when you have the results back from the lab, or if you already have your results, then you mark off the laboratory data that you have. Then you read the education section, which kind of pulls it all together and helps you decide whether or not you have that cause. And then last, I've got a conclusion section where basically you mark off, yes, you have the cause, no, you don't have the cause, and then you put it back on the big causes of fatigue checklist, which I will show you in a second. And then, of course, if you ever have any questions, here's where you can submit them and the links. And of course, as always, all the content that I produce is for educational purposes only and is not meant to diagnose and treat. So this is the list of the causes of fatigue. And so what I've done is I've grouped them into deficiencies as well as into toxicities. And we're going to go through all of these. And what I've done, you'll see the pluses and the minuses next to them, is that I've given you some guidance on assessment is based more on signs and symptoms and confirmed with labs. So this is if you don't have the lab yet and you still want to dive into this packet, you can do so by going after the ones that are based, focusing mainly on those that have the plus next to them, which are mainly the ones that you can diagnose based off of your signs and symptoms. So adrenals, mitochondria, thyroid, estrogen, progesterone deficiency, testosterone, sleep deficiency, water, good food deficiency, neurotransmitters, movement, exercise. And then over here under toxicities, constipation, stealth infections, all these stealth infections, sinus infections, food allergies, inhaled allergies, negative emotions, and EMFs. So those are all kind of subjective experience. The minus is based more on laboratory tests and then confirmed with the symptoms. So this is the nutrients of B12, folate, vitamin D, magnesium, iron, and then we're looking over here at molds, heavy metals, chemicals, intestinal infections, and that's it. And then assessment based on both equally. So that's dental infections because they're very hard to find. And so they're based both on subjective as well as the objective. And all of these things really are based on both of those. But I wanted to kind of give you this, to give you that distinction between those so that you could really have an idea about if you have the labs or if you don't have the labs, where you want to focus your attention. So hopefully that's helpful. This is also the list where once you go through the process for each one of these causes below, then you come back up and let's say you got adrenals, you can mark it on this page. So this is kind of like your main page, because then when we go into the plan, step 2 through 4, right, replacing the deficiencies, opening up detoxification pathways, and then removing the toxicities, we're going to look at these causes so that we know where to focus. Because if you don't have the thyroid deficiency, you don't need the plan for how to fix your thyroid, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see if I can remove this. There we go.